one man in Angola said, well, what's this project all about? And I said, well, you are an invisible population, and this is your opportunity to speak to people on the outside and present yourself the way you would like to be presented. What do you want them to know about you? And this guy went in and came out with a sheet of notebook paper, and he had written freedom on it. I just kept talking so I wouldn't burst into tears. But that's what he wanted the world to see. As time went by, I started realizing that the project was as much about the power of the personal photograph as it was about who I was photographing. I gave back all of these little prints, wallet-sized prints. And I think I've given back around 25,000. Kind of a labor-intensive project. So then I became fascinated with where all of these little prints were going. And I would see the men on the walk, they'd sit down and they'd look at each other's and they'd trade them back and forth. And I'd try to ask sometimes, well, where are you going to send your prints? And I'm going to send those to my sister in Florida. I haven't seen her in 30 years. I think that is the most interesting part of the project, to imagine, put little pins in the map where all of these images have gone and the stories behind them. There was one woman was photographing at the women's prison, and the women, I would have lists 100 long waiting to get their pictures made. And this woman came up to me and said, will you take my picture? And I said, well, are you on the list? And she said, no, I'm not on the list. I said, well, are your kids coming to visit tomorrow? Because I'm going to photograph women with their children, and you don't have to be on the list. I'll just do it automatically. And she said, well, that's a problem, she said. I've been in here 15 years, and I had never heard from any of my kids because they got mad at me. So I was thinking if I had some pictures to send home that it might soften their hearts. So, of course, I'm like turning myself inside out, doing somersaults. Okay, sit down. I'm going to take your picture. I saw her about 3 or 4 months later, and I said, so how are you? Did you like your pictures? And she said, you're not going to believe what happened. She said, 4 of my children came to see me. And she said the baby was 19 now, and he was 5 years old when I left. And he recognized me, and he started crying and ran, and I was just... So, I just imagine that there are other functions that these photographs fill that are really what this project is all about.